Hello, Maverick traders, and welcome out to your daily currency recap. This is Ankit here, and let's break down today's market price action. It's a Wednesday, October the 30th. Let's get into it. As always, we'll be breaking down today's market price action by looking at broader market analysis. Then we'll take a look at what the currency basket is telling us, take a look at the news, and then we'll take a look at some possible setups ahead. Let's get into it.
Disclaimer. This video was created for professional stock and option traders. Maverick Trading is a proprietary trading firm that employs professional traders around the world. Our traders trade firm capital and keep 70 to 80% of profits they generate. All trades and analysis in this video are for professional traders only. If you are interested in becoming a professional trader for Maverick, click the apply button in the video description. Let's break down what happened today.
So jumping into the market analysis, let's just take a look at the market performance today and the news of the day. You can see that today was a bit of a sell-off day in the markets. Again, a mild sell-off into the close. Overall, the equity market remains in an uptrend, but we're taking a bit of a pause, being in consolidation phase. And again, that's expected that when we are going into this key election, that's next week. And based on the outcome, I think the market's going to react significantly one way or the other. Now, if you take a look at what's happening in the dollar and the bond markets, the bond market continues to rise, and that's again thanks to the strong economic data. We had ADP numbers today; they were twice as good as expectation, and even the GDP was still pretty good at 2.8%. So overall, the market stays in a good shape. Now, the only jitters in the markets are really with this election here. Now, if you take a look at the percentage day today, it wasn't really a big moving day. This is where it's just telling me today was just the day to sit out. Now, if we look at the pound, that was really the big mover. I had a big move both on the upside and the downside. We'll take a look at it. Outside of that, really nothing else was really moving as much. You can see that the outperformers, like the dollar, was taking a little bit of a break here. We're seeing the Swiss franc taking a little break here. Euro actually doing a lot better here. Again, that could be just that correlation between the pound and the euro. But again, nothing really big in the markets today. Now, if you take a look at the world markets, you can see the S&P slightly lower. We have the VT slightly lower. We have the cryptos lower. So the only thing that's just rising, continue to rise, is the gold breaking out to new highs today. And then the oil continues to be that volatile play here. Now here we are in the cryptos. You can see outside of the Ethereum, everything else was down. So overall, again, crypto has done well. So just a slight pullback. So we're seeing just the markets where we are, the crypto markets are reacting more to the risk trends. So we're seeing more pullbacks happening when the equity markets are pulling back here. Now, if you take a look at our outlook, well, you can see that nothing really has changed. We are still in an uptrend, but now we are going sideways a little bit here. And like I said, this is just a consolidation phase, and we'll have a better idea and possibly a breakout when we get next week's election results. Now, if we take a look at the event so far, again, it's been a busy week, and we still have quite a bit to go through. But so far, the highlights here is that, again, we have the U.S. number. Look at the U.S. employment change, the ADP number. That was much better than expected. We also had the JOLTS number yesterday. That was actually below expectations. So we got a bit of a mixed picture from yesterday and today. Yesterday was on the downside. Today is on the upside. Now, if we take a look at outside of that, the Australia, we have the CPI. And remember, we talked about how the CPI will really set the tone with the RBA. So this thing, again, this is giving them less worry about inflation. So we'll find out what the RBA is going to do on a Monday. But yeah, this is definitely not the best news for the Australian dollar. But again, we didn't really see a big reaction off of it. So it seems like the market just didn't really care for that CPI number. But again, RBA will be more in focus next week. So as you can see in the data, again, we still have quite a bit to go through. We have the BOJ rate statement, and I know this is where we talk about expectation, not really expecting any change. But we always want to watch out for these events, especially if there is a surprise or there's a bit of a volatility around it. Outside of that, again, we have some data tomorrow, the PCE price index. We got the unemployment claims. So there's some important numbers tomorrow. And the big one really is on Friday when we get this U.S. jobs, the non-farm payrolls. Right now, we are not seeing a big reaction off of it. Again, I think a lot of that positivity is already priced in. But again, I'm not really seeing any big surprise to the downside either. So it seems like right now the elections are really overshadowing some of the economic data here because everybody's sort of nervous, with the outcome next week. Now, as far as the currency analysis go, let's just take a look at what the velocity scores are telling us. And right now, you can see that things are kind of more stuck in the middle here. The only outlier here is that euro on the upside here. Even though the pound had a bit of a roller coaster move overall, we'll take a look at it. It's at a 0. I think it can easily move towards a -1 here shortly. But you can see the outperformers like the dollar, like the yen, like the Swiss franc. These are the two currencies that have been moving. They're actually moving a little bit on the negative side here. But again, slight pullback. The yen, which has been the biggest currency, it stays in the -1 zone here. So not really finding a whole lot of opportunity. And I think this is where wait and see approach is probably a better cause here. Now, we'll take a look at euro and we'll take a look at pound as we take a look at some possible setups ahead. So let's just jump in and let's take a look at some setups here.
Do you want to be a professional trader? Maverick Currencies is the oldest US-based Forex and crypto prop trading company that will pay you for trading with our capital. Trade our capital and keep 70 to 80% of the profits. We are looking for traders just like you that are hardworking and motivated. Click the apply link on the top right of this video to see if you have what it takes. That link takes you to a 4-minute video that explains the trader position available, and you read a list of FAQs that answer pretty much all the basic questions you have at this point. After watching the video and reading the FAQs, if you're interested, fill out an application, then you'll watch the full-length recruiting video, and then schedule an interview with one of our traders. Are you our next trader?
And based on the setups that we looked at, again, we identified that the euro actually is doing really well. As you can see the big run here in the euro on the daily chart, on a 4-hour chart, you can see this thing is very nicely trending higher. So we'll take a look at some euro pairs, and then let's take a look at pound, because take a look at this big roller coaster move that we have today. And I'm just going to go into an hourly chart so you can see, or even go in a 15-minute chart. You can see that there was quite a bit of a movement today. Here's the scale here. We had a drop with a big rally and a drop again. So we are back at the lows where we started. And again, on a 4-hour chart, this looks like a bit of a reversal here. So if you break below the support area on a currency basket, I think this can easily have a nice trade in the next 24 hours. So that's the level that I'm looking for this to break. But you can see that right now it's stabilized a little bit right at the support area. So I'll just put an alert on the currency basket here, and if it breaks, then we can take a look at some of the pound crosses. Now let's just take a look at the dollar, because I know the dollar is the one that's on everyone's mind. You can see that the dollar trend. I mean, oh boy, look at this 4 weeks of strength. It's pretty much a one way. Now in the shorter term, we can see the RSI is kind of weakening here. Again, this thing is not really falling. I mean, this is consolidating. So you got to keep in mind that, even though the RSI can dip, this can easily recover and start to break out. And that's just the way the pattern has been. So not really looking to get long the dollar here, but not really looking to get short the dollar here. I think dollar could just maybe consolidate here. And we take a look at the daily chart. This thing is, still looking pretty strong. No signs of reversals yet. And on a monthly gains, you can see that's a massive gain. Going back to 2022, this is one of the biggest monthly gain that we're seeing here. Now, the euro is the one that we're going to take a look at. Let's see what the Swiss franc is doing. You can see Swiss franc is still going higher. Some of the European currencies, they're still going higher. Pound, I would scale back on. I know pound was a good currency, but now pound is sort of scaling back a little bit here. Now we're looking at the growth currencies. So here we are with the Aussie, kind of in the no man's land here. Here we are with the Kiwi. It's really stuck right at the support here. So not really expecting much in the Kiwi and the Aussie phase here. Let's go in the CAD. And CAD is kind of stuck here as well. So, the big movements happen when there's significant breaks are taking place, either on the upside or the downside. There's things that are not breaking out, but then there are certain things that are breaking out, like the euro. So we'll take a look at euro pound is the first one, because that's really where the big move was today. And then here we are. Look at that big candlestick on a daily chart. Now, is that a reversal candle? It could potentially be. I mean, here we are right here on this 4-hour chart. So any sort of pullbacks or bases, I would love to kind of get long into. I think that maybe we can see a bit of a divergence there as far as the relative strength and weakness goes. But my focus again goes back to what's in play. Now we have the yen that's in play tonight, and you can see that this thing is just, a sideways price action, but overall trend remains low. This is the daily chart. It looks like it just wants to go lower. So if I see any sort of rallies with the BOJ, and again, there's nothing substantial comes out of it, I think any of those rallies are good, sort of a shorting opportunity. So that's really where we got to be hunting. We can also take a look at currency like Euro Yen. You can see that Euro Yen had a nice breakout as well. And you can see that this still has room for this to run. It's sitting at 166. But, you can easily climb towards that 170 area or, back to where things used to be. I think there's this, this is a possible target. So yen, again, looks clear to me as far as, where the weakness is. We're seeing relative strength in the euro. I'm going to scale back on the pound because I don't like the price action here. I mean, this looks more like a false breakout to me. So maybe we're going to see a bit of a pullback in the pound and maybe over a euro sort of takeover there. So euro pound, I have euro yen. Those are really the top one on my list here. But as far as the dollar goes, I am really looking for that catalyst. I need to see things sort of shaken out here, and I'm not really seeing that right now. So really keeping be on the sideline on. So that's really the game plan here. Again, BOJ will be in focus overnight. I think we'll look for some setups there. Again, we'll realize that many people are waiting for that U.S. election results. That's next week. So till then, we might see things sort of chop around. But again, you're looking for that bigger trade. Let this election pass through, because after that, we have a entire month of November and December, and we're going to look for those big trades that happen towards the end of the year. So I think that's where our focus should be. And just keep in mind, we could see some volatility, but that's really where we are. That's how election goes. But once the dust settles, I think it gets clear to trade after that. So keep a close eye on things, set alerts, and then look for those prices to move and then move along with it. Thanks for joining here. We'll see you next one. Happy trading.